All right, so we have solved right triangles before. We're solving triangles now. Hey, Parker, pick up your paper. Thank you. And we know how to find the area of a triangle if we know the base and the height, but we're going to look at how to find the area if maybe we don't know that stuff, okay? So what is the area formula for a triangle? 1/2 base times height. Okay, so the area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 base times height. We've known that like forever, right? So we're going to do the same kind of thing we did with the law of sines and cosines, is use some other things we know and adjust our formula. So here's our big ABC triangle that we keep using. The height's already drawn in for you this time. So we'll be able to manipulate this a little bit so we wouldn't always have to know the height. So from this triangle right here, it says we know that the sine of angle C equals, so here's angle C. The sine of C from this triangle would be what over what? H over A. H over A. Everybody agree with that? So then it says, therefore, H equals. So we're just going to solve for H, which means we're just multiplying both sides by A. So H equals A times the sine of angle C. So then now we're going to get to substitute. Okay, since H equals A times the sine of C, that's what I'm going to put in for this H right here. Okay, and I'm also going to flip A and B around once I write them in there. So that means that the area of the triangle could also be 1/2 A times B times the sine of C. Okay. And then if you know sides and angles, or you don't know what the height is, because sometimes we might know a lot of things, we might know all the sides, but we wouldn't necessarily have enough information to find the height. Maybe we could find that information, but then we don't even need to go down that road. So if you look over here, we've taken H out of the equation, basically. And if I'm going to use A and B and then the sine of C. So it's these three pieces that I use in this triangle. So what kind of information setup is that? Side, angle, side. So you can use this triangle with a side, angle, side situation. If you don't have a side, angle, side situation, then maybe you could use law of sines or cosines to get you the information you need to be able to find the area. Just kind of depends on what you started with. The letters themselves, not so important, just to know, I mean, it's A, B, and C, so it's the two sides and then the angle that's across from the third side, or the two sides and the included angle. If you just know that it's the side, angle, side thing, those are the pieces you use. We don't have to go and label this A, B, and C or anything. So let's look at number 1. The area formula for the triangle is 1/2 AB sine of C, right? Do I have a side, angle, side situation here? Yes, I do. So this is side, angle, side, so I am good to go with it like it is, which means I just substitute it in. I get 1/2 times 11 times 16 times the sine of 105. And then I just type that in the calculator. And I have mine written to the nearest tenth, and I know that that's not what this says anymore, and I forgot to go back and redo it. So I know it's 85.001. And then what would my units look like on that? Feet squared. Easy enough? And the formula is pretty easy to, remember, hopefully. All right, so let's look at number 3. Number 3. On number 3, do I have a side, angle, side situation? No, I do not. On number 3, I have angle, angle, side. Right? Which means, am I capable, if I have angle, angle, side, am I capable of finding some stuff? Yes, okay? And so if I can find the things that will help me with the area, then I'm good to go. So if it's angle, angle, side, what can I apply first? Law of sines or cosines? Sines. Okay, so 76 goes with 7. 59 goes with this side, which we'll call x. So I'll do the sine of 76 over 7 equals the sine of 59 over x. Right? Then do your thing, find x and store it. So did we all get 6 something for x? Right? Okay, got 6 something, blah, blah, blah. Just make sure it's stored. Okay, so now I have these two side lengths. In order to find the area using this formula, I have to have this included angle, which I don't know. But can I find it? Yes. What is it? 45. Okay, so this angle is 45. So now I can use these two sides and this angle and find my area. So the area of the triangle is equal to 1/2 times 7 times the x that's in my calculator times the sine of 45. Bless you. And then I know it's 15 point something, but I have mine written down to the nearest tenth. So I need to help me out with that one once you get it. .324? Oh, 304. 304. Okay. And that would be millimeters squared. Okay. What questions do we have? Anything? Easy enough? All right, so then let's flip this over and let's look at number 6. All right, so 6, I have a side situation. Right? Not a side angle side. Am I capable of finding an angle? Yes. What would I use? Law of sines or cosines? Cosines. Does it matter which angle I find? No. The answer is no. It doesn't matter which one you find. You'll set the things up differently, but you'll get the same answers in the end. So do you want to find the top one, the left one, or the right one? Okay, right is what I heard the most. So we'll go with this one. So we'll go with this angle. We'll call this theta. Okay? So if I'm going to use the law of cosines and I'm finding this angle, then the 16 is what goes on the outside, right? 16 squared equals 6 squared plus 14 squared minus 2 times 6 times 14 times the cosine of theta. Then do your thing, find theta, and store it. Okay, so there's not a theta for me to store on the calculator, so I would use x. You can use whatever you want. But whatever you use, I would write down what it is. So I called it theta in the problem, but then I stored it in x, so I kind of have it labeled as both for myself. Did we all get 98 something? Okay, so then I can use that angle and these two sides in my formula. So the area of the triangle then is going to be 1/2 times 6 times 14 times the sine of the x that's in your calculator. It's 41 something. Point what? 570? Nope. 569. Okay. 0.569 yards squared. So make sure you get that number. If not, say something before I move on. Leave it in the dust, okay? It's okay to speak up. We're all good? All right, so that's one way to find the area if you don't know the height. And then we have another one that's Heron's formula. So with the law of sines, the law of cosines, and this first area formula, I did some algebra and showed you where it came from and like we developed it, right? Because I think it's important for you to see that it's not just something somebody said, oh, let's see if this works. Heron's formula, however, if I take you through that process, is going to take me about 30 minutes to get through all the algebra. It's not really that crazy algebra. There's just a lot of steps. And I think most of your eyes would be glazed over before I was finished anyway. If you're interested in seeing that, it is kind of cool. I'll put a little video in the playlist, so if you want to watch a quick little, I mean, it's not that long really, but it's more than I want to take in class. So I'm just going to give it to you and say, this is what it is. And if you want to know the why, then you can go look at what I'll give you later. So when the measures of all three sides of a triangle are given, you can use Huron's formula. So the one we just did, we could do it the way we just did it, or we could have used Huron's formula. Doesn't matter either way. Get the same answer. So it looks like this. The area of the triangle is equal to big old long square root. It's going to be S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. So A, B, and C are the three side lengths. Okay, so that means this would be done in a side situation. The S is something that's new, right? So it says down here where S equals, it equals 1/2 times A plus B plus C. If I was to just do A plus B plus C, what does that represent of the triangle? The perimeter. So I'm taking half of that. So what this is called the semi-perimeter. And that's why it's an S. So it's the semi-perimeter, half the perimeter. So even though it looks kind of crazy, it's really not that difficult to remember once you just kind of see what's happening here. So I have all three sides in number 7. So the first thing I need is the semi-perimeter. So I need to find S is equal to 1/2 times 18 plus 19 plus 21. I want to figure out what S is. $29, right? So we get 29. So then the area of the triangle is equal to big old square root 29 times 29 minus 18 times 29 minus 19 times 29 minus 21. I would suggest you don't even try and do any subtraction in your head. If you're going to use the calculator, just let the calculator do everything so you don't do something ridiculous and subtract wrong. You can type it in exactly like it looks right now, and the calculator will give you the answer. Make that happen. You should have 159 something. And somebody tell me what the something is. 750? And that is miles squared. There you go. Okay. We good? What questions do you have? Awesome.